rotation within it. So that is why, while we just have a severe thunderstorm warning, folks that are in line for the storm certainly need to be in their safe place now, lowest level of the home, away from windows.
Yes.
Maybe protect yourself from anything like a pillow or perhaps a mattress or a helmet or something like that, just in case this does develop into something a little bit more severe than it is currently.
Yeah, and if you don't have a basement, go to the lowest level of your home, interior portion of your home. Stay away from those windows because of these very, very strong winds up to 70 miles per hour. And if we do have some rotation there, which the Doppler radar is a little bit indicating a little bit more than what this was when they first issued that severe thunderstorm warning for out of Morristown National Weather Service. So that is something, you need to heed this warning, and still looking at some pretty decent size hail within that, just to the very west of Limestone currently. Here's South Central, here's Limestone. So yeah, we got the white here that is indicating some pretty decent size hail.
If we can also take a look at the correlation coefficients, one of the meteorologists there is saying that there's a possible debris ball signature maybe showing up. I don't really, well,
Are they
not
talking
really showing
about
that much, but
I wouldn't go there yet, but I mean,
Yeah.
maybe right, maybe as it came. I don't want to speculate, but that's but it right there, maybe perhaps something that was being looked at near north of Greenville,
Right.
around 516 or so.
I think what they're looking at is probably right there.
But certainly that area is being looked at very closely by the National Weather Service, and so we'll have to just do as we're saying, treat this as if it were a tornado warning that now is right along the Greene and Washington County line, pushing off to the east. So this includes, of course, Limestone and South Central. We can even zoom a little tighter and get some, maybe some of the more smaller communities. We've got Hensley Air Park, and getting close and moving near Clear Springs, and mainly south of the Graysburg. But certainly the area that is of biggest concern here is running from about Horse Creek, closing in on South Central, along Chuckey Pike, and then connecting up toward Chuckey Elementary School and Limestone.
And then Conklin, you're going to be in the path of this storm. Now, this particular warning does go in, it remains in effect through 6 p.m. So this stretches all the way back. Here's Embryville and Irwin, so it does go into Irwin, Unicoi County.
Yeah, the severe thunderstorm warning until 6 p.m. We can say that Greenville and Tusculum now are clear from this severe storm, but now folks in Washington County, Tennessee, and eventually parts of Unicoi County. This may continue to push off to the east, but around South Central Highway, Route 107, need to be in your safe place right now. Zoom in a little closer here. We got Bailey Bridge Road. That's really kind of between Chuckey Pike and Bailey Bridge Road. Then Washington College, Telford, Clear Springs, Limestone, Raytown, all within the scope of this severe storm right now.
Yes. And then we do have a little bit farther north.
Yeah, so we do want to touch base with this storm too. It doesn't have a warning with it, but it looks impressive right now.
Yeah, most certainly does. Kingsport, Colonial Heights, Fall Branch is just going to get some very heavy rain, probably seeing a lot of heavy rain and a lot of lightning with this. Of course, it's not in a warmed area right now, but certainly we could see some gusty winds with that. Now, this is the hail.
Small hail, yeah.
Some smaller hail, yes, definitely
between
Churchill and Fall Branch. Now it is moving off to the east.
We can do a storm track on that, Teresa, too.
Yeah, let's do that.
And I'll put that on the here.
While we're doing that too, Greene County power outage is now up to 1,375.
So that was up from 260, right? The last time you reported
Yes.
that. So obviously we've got, I'm assuming this one's also moving east about 45 miles per hour. So they're Teresa, are
Yeah.
some of the towns, communities that would be impacted by
Let's
that?
see, right now it is about 5:30. Okay, so Tri-City is about 5:40, so another 10 minutes. Bluntville about another 14 minutes, about 5:45. Into Bristol about 5:53. King University about the same time, about 5:54. Sadie about 6:10. Shadyville looking about 6:15. Into Mountain City around 6:27. And that is if this particular storm is moving off to the east about probably 40.
45, yeah, somewhere.
40,
I do
45
want to point
miles.
out that I'm just kind of, when I'm putting these tracks on, I'm just taking the most severe part of this line. I'm not doing, that's not including, I mean, there's many areas that are within this line of storms, extending all the way up
Currently.
into areas of Southwest Virginia as well, Teresa. You can see some of that into Scott and Washington, Russell.
Yeah, certainly. These are stronger thunderstorms. A lot of heavy rain, some gusty winds. Not, they're under severe limits right now, but certainly some stronger thunderstorms. Is seeing some lightning and probably some small hail within this line of thunderstorms that extending all the way from Grundy, Davenport area. Richlands, you will be receiving this, so it's moving off to the east. There's Grundy, Davenport, Lebanon, some heavy rainfall right now. Saltville, you will be receiving this very, very shortly. Even Castlewood right now, some heavy rainfall and with that, as well as Lebanon. Brumley Gap and Bolton, looking some heavy rainfall, some stronger thunderstorms as well. Ben Hames and Nicholsville. You had one area that went through one little particular cell, and now you are going to be receiving a second cell with this as well as Dungannon.
So I mean, I'm looking at this, so the heavier storms, it appears right now in Southwest Virginia, kind of bearing down on Buchanan County, moving out of Dickinson County, but especially now it looks like into Scott and Russell County. The more intense cells appear to be kind of just to the southwest of Hansonville and right near and along Highway 58 there, pretty close to the Castlewood area.
Yeah.
And getting close to Cleveland, and that will be pushing into Lebanon. Let me put on the hail tracker here to see if you can see there probably is some, maybe some penny-sized hail with that storm now in the southwest part of Russell County currently, just to the north of the Washington County line, very close to Hansonville.
Yeah, very close to Hansonville, northeast of Mendota right now.
Oh, so we just got a warning for that.
Okay,
just
we did get a warning.
Just let me go ahead and zoom into that real tight. So just as we were, kind of emphasizing that storm, we do have now severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for, this includes until 6:15, Teresa, for Russell County, southern, especially near and south of Lebanon toward Bolton, in Russell County, as well as the northern parts of Washington County, Virginia. That does include Benhams and Abingdon. It does not include Bristol at this point in time, but this severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:15, with the possibility of some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and up to 3/4-inch diameter hail.
Right. Is there anything of a tornado signature on this, or possible, or is it
I don't
just,
see anything about any
wind?
tornado possible with this one. We can put on the wind here and see. We do, looks like, have at least a little bit of shear, something that we'll have to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
So right,
Okay.
right here, maybe
So
a little
here's
bit of
Hansonville.
something that we'll need to keep an eye on.
Yeah,
The atmosphere is really pretty unstable. We got a lot of wind shear, and so that's why we got to continue to monitor these storms, even though so far we don't have a tornado reported with any of them. Any of these little cells can kind of spin up and kind of tighten this rotation and potentially bring, at least a brief tornado. We don't have any indication that this storm is doing that, but did want to point that out when you mentioned the shear, something that we want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's something to definitely keep an eye on right now. And of course, we are showing some hail within this particular, even right before that warning, they issued that warning, we were already seeing some hail, some larger hail within that storm.
And we can do a little track on this, and let me just first see, this one was moving This is moving east at 30 miles per hour, so this one appears to be maybe a little bit slower.
Right.
Let me just change that real quick. And I'll take the lightning off. That'd be kind of distracting sometimes.
I would say Chilhowie and Glade Spring, be on the lookout.
Definitely.
If this cell continues to hold strength, they will probably be extending this severe thunderstorm warning.
So there's the part of the storm that's being warned for.
Okay.
And there's about 30, 35 mile per hour forward progression on that storm.
So Lebanon High School about 5:40. It's 5:36, so it'll just about to your area. Greendale about 5:44. Abingdon 5:53. Meadowview 6:01, and then we get into Glade Spring about 6:10. Saltville 6:12. Chilhowie, I was talking about you, about 6:18. Adwolf about 6:28, and Marion 6:35. So this is one line of thunderstorms that is moving through right now.
And we could probably let me just go quick, take a look at what we got down. So still tracking 2 intense cells in East Tennessee, one coming through Colonial Heights and Kingsport near Fall Branch, and still we have that severe thunderstorm warning for this cell in central and southern Washington County, especially southern Washington County. That severe thunderstorm warning continues until 6 o'clock, and most likely will be extended. That also, we could say, Greene County is pretty much out of that warning, but now across central and southern parts, especially southern parts of Washington County. But this also, while the storm hasn't moved into Unicoi County, Irwin is in that severe thunderstorm warning until 6 o'clock. At this point, they have dropped the tornado possible.
Okay.
With that, that's no longer
good.
in there, so that's a bit of good news. The last update we had was, tornado possible. Looks like maybe that threat has lowered, and now we're still dealing with the possibility of some strong, damaging wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour, and again the possibility of some hail, maybe between penny and quarter-size hail potentially there with that storm, as it sits pretty much right over. Let me zoom in a little tighter.
Have they
here.
given an update as far as, are we still looking about 70 mile per hour winds?
It says right now it's the max wind gust at 60.
Okay.
60 miles per hour, so that's down from the 70 mile per hour wind that was being indicated by the National Weather Service in Morristown a little while ago.
Yeah, even though it's down 10 miles per hour, it's still a very dangerous situation. So Irwin, again, you need to be in your safe place, and if you have a basement, go there. Make sure you stay out from windows. If you don't have a basement, go to the interior portion of your home and stay away from windows. And if need be, get a pillow, cover your head for debris, for any damage. But certainly this is a severe thunderstorm warning, again, that remains in effect until 6 p.m. For Washington and going into Unicoi County.
So this obviously is impacting Jonesboro now, as well as northward toward Gray.
These are just stronger thunderstorms, not under a warning right now into Kingsport, Bluntville, Colonial Heights. Strong thunderstorms, again, producing some small hail. And what did you say about winds up to? 60 miles.
Well, the ones up to the north, they're not being warned for. I would say maybe peak wind gusts up to maybe 40 or 50 miles per hour with that, and maybe some small hail. We can maybe show on max, if we can switch over to max 2, want to just let folks know some severe weather safety tips, places to avoid electrical equipment and plumbing. Cell phones are okay, but outdoor activities, make sure that you are inside. If you are close enough to hear the thunder, you need to be moving indoors.
That's right.
And also, you know, when the storm's on top of you, which is imminent right now, parts of Sullivan County and Washington County, and soon moving into Unicoi County, you know, stay away from windows. Get into a safe part of your home, which is typically the lowest level interior section, maybe a closet, or if at this point we're not thinking there's a tornado, but at least in the safe part of your home, away from windows and away from electrical appliances and so forth.
That's exactly right. And with your phone, if you have not done so, download the Storm Track 5 weather app. You can track these storms on that. It has a great radar that you can track those thunderstorms. So again, let's take a look right now. Again, this particular storm is in effect until 6 p.m., so we have about another 19 minutes. But certainly we are looking at wind gusts up to about 60 miles per hour with this particular storm. With the storm down off to the south, but some stronger thunderstorms, and this one is until 6:15, I believe.
That warning is in effect for Washington, northern Washington, and also Russell County, southern Russell County, until 6:15.
Okay.
That flashing there, you can see that does include areas near and north of Benham, up toward Bolton, and then between areas around Abingdon up toward Brumley Gap, and just near and south of Lebanon. That is the area in Russell and Washington County that are under severe thunderstorm warnings until 6:15. Again, that storm may have 3/4 inch diameter hail with it and up to 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I want to take a look at a couple of cameras now. We've got Kit's got in Max 2. We're going to take a look at just some of the areas that are being impacted by these storms. Now, this is our downtown camera, Kingsport City Hall, looking toward Church Circle. Definitely some heavy rain. Maybe we could also take a look at the Abingdon Airport, if we got that, because that's an area that is under the severe thunderstorm warning. And here's downtown Jonesboro. The severe storm in Washington County is, the severe part of it is mainly south of Jonesboro, impacting areas around Lamar, and getting set to move into Irwin and Unicoi County. Here's the Washington County Abingdon storm, Virginia Highlands Airport, exit 81, exit 13, Interstate 81. Doesn't look like that storm obviously has come there yet, but just wanted to give you a look at what some of the cameras are showing currently. But we can go back to that storm now in Washington County, Virginia. We've got some showers now over Abingdon, but it does look like the storm that is part of the storm that is most dangerous by a long shot is probably north of Abingdon, but is right here along the Russell and Washington County line.
Yeah, Brumley's Gap, and also Greendale. Roebuck is just getting this storm, is just coming in. You're right in the thick of this right now. Northeast of Alum Wells, and then Mendota Road. So if you live on Mendota Road, you are in the thick of this severe thunderstorm.
Can you put up,
and here's Roebuck.
See if we got the
Gap.
Hansonville camera. That storm is just near, at least it's very close to Hansonville. It's the most intense part, but is south of Hansonville. But we do have a camera there, and we'll just see if it's streaming in right now. We can see what that looks like. But there.
And Greendale, you are almost, or probably seeing some heavy rainfall right now, probably looking at a lot of thunder or a lot of lightning with this. Here's our Hansonville, Virginia camera from the Ashley Camera Network. Certainly some heavy rainfall. It's looking like, some heavy rainfall.
All right, but I mean, it doesn't look like the winds are particularly intense. But again, we were just wanted to give you a glance of what was happening at Hansonville. But if we go back to radar, the most intense part of the storm now is right here north of Greendale along Highway 19, and then just up to near Hansonville. Then another intense part of the cell is back to the north toward Dickinsonville. Anyway, that storm continuing to extend westward into Scott County around Nicholsville. The storm clearing Kingsport, now over the gray area currently. That storm in Sullivan County, again, not being warned for, but there is the likelihood that we could have some very strong gusty winds up to maybe 40 or 50 miles per hour and some small hail.
Bluff City, Piney Flats, Boones Creek. Gray right now is just into the very heaviest part of this particular strong storm. It is moving off to the east, so Bluff City, Piney Flats. You will be receiving this very shortly. Dave's putting a timeline on here.
That was a bad one.
Okay, so Bluff City, I would say within the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, let me put that on here.
Piney Flats as well.
We're also getting numerous reports of trees down in Greene County from the the previous storm that we were watching there for a while.
Okay.
Actually, numerous reports. And then also looks like some trees down there also by a train spotter in Wise County, Virginia as well.
Okay, so Bluff City about 5:57 to close to 6 o'clock. Into Bristol as well as close to 6 o'clock. Stony Creek, Hunter about 6:09 to 6:15. Sadie 6:17. Shady Valley 6:22. Mountain City 6:36. And then point much farther east about 6:44 into Flatwood.
I mean, that's all the way into North Carolina. So you can see that, in about an hour's time, this line of storms is going to be getting pretty much out of East Tennessee, and not totally, but across into getting ready to push into North Carolina. But still, we want to go back to that storm in Washington County. It does extend up into the Johnson City area. We might hit that camera. We got to put the town hall camera from Irwin in there. Let's take a look, because that storm is right on top of Irwin, it looks like right now.
And Unicoi. Unicoi is actually not in this severe thunderstorm warning, but certainly you are seeing some heavy rainfall. Here's the Irwin Town Hall, North Main Avenue.
Doesn't look like we're getting it quite yet there at the Town Hall.
No, not there yet.
But it certainly is, stretching from near Irwin and Unicoi. Bad travel conditions now on obviously Interstate 26, especially on the northern part of that route. Not so bad toward the Welcome Center or Flag Pond or Sam's Gap, but certainly around Irwin to Unicoi. That's where the more intense part of this storm is currently, as it races off to the east and extends up toward Jonesboro and also the Johnson City area. The weather over Johnson City doesn't look like it's severe. There are probably some moderate showers, maybe a quick downpour with that right now. But the severe part of this storm is over the southern part of Washington, moving into Unicoi County right now.
And Jonesboro, heavy rainfall. And we do have some decent-sized hail.
It looks like the hail core may be not as intense as it was, 20 minutes ago, but still some hail possible with that from extending from near Lamar to Irwin. At least the latest scan, it might be a little bit east of that area currently. But I would say maybe up to maybe penny-sized hail there, heading toward or near the Irwin area currently.
Yeah, I was going to say Irwin and then Unicoi, you will be next if this, but like Dave said, it doesn't look as big as hailstones as we were seeing earlier.
Plus, I wanted to kind of point out, as this storm was coming through, I mean, this thing is moving right along, but I want to go back an hour. You can see the wind field we have on there near Lamar, Irwin, and take it back maybe an hour. See when it was coming right through Greenville.
Also, if you want to take Max 2 here in just a minute, it looks like maybe some hail mixing with this is at the Irwin Town Hall camera. It looks like it's just now starting to come down there.
Definitely.
Starting to see some rain.
Definitely.
Excuse me.
But just kind of give an idea. See, that looks like the wind fields were the strongest as it came through Greenville. This was at 512, just west of Greenville. In fact, it was stretching back further west than that, when it was really starting to show those possible 70-mile-an-hour winds at the surface, potentially. And then across Tusculum, I might even do a quick velocity. So, yeah, so I mean, that was when we had that considerable damage tag to the Weather Service text of the possible impacts from the storm. But as we push it, I'm gonna go to the current. Again, that was at 521. So that was about a half hour ago. It does look like
yeah.
it's still potentially producing 60-mile-an-hour gusts, but it doesn't look like we're looking at that 70-mile-per-hour gust potential anymore.
No, it does. It's not looking like that at all. But still, looking at,
I
like
mean,
Dave said,
it's a
at
severe
least a good
thunderstorm.
60.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to downplay it at all.
No, it's still a severe thunderstorm warning, producing some very damaging winds. And now it looks like it's really coming down in Irwin, as well as those winds are picking up. If we could go to max 2 and take a look at the Irwin, yeah. This has really changed just over a few minutes ago. A few minutes ago, we were looking at this and it was dry. Now we're looking at heavy rain and some very gusty winds with this.
The winds are really blowing through there.
Yeah.
Also, so the storm system that was rolling through Greene County a little bit earlier, their power outages are now up over 3,000.
Where's that at, Kit?
Greene County.
Greene County?
Greene County,
okay.
yeah.
So, excuse me, the warning here for, it has been kind of whittled down, just got whittled down a little bit more. That warning will be in effect until 6 o'clock, for about another 9 minutes. Is there anything in chat that indicates whether or not that warning will be extended eastward?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
No, nothing new showing up on that.
Okay, so that warning is in effect until 6, and we're trying to see, maybe giving an indication from the National Weather Service if they are going to extend that warning a little bit farther east. And of course, we still do have this particular severe thunderstorm warning, and that's in effect until 6:15.
Yeah.
That it's over Brumley Gap right now. Some heavy rainfall in Abingdon, Greendale area, Hansonville, Lebanon, some heavy rainfall. Some gusty winds with this. And then if we go a little bit farther east, Glade Springs starting to receive some moderate to heavy rain, as well as Saltville. And then to Richlands, we're getting into Russell
The National
or
Weather
Tazewell
Service.
County.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, is also going to continue the warning. It says for Unicoi, looks like, let's see, southeast from Washington and central Unicoi counties. That just came in 1 minute ago.
So they're just saying that this warning continues, but
It'll continue
still not
until
sure.
6.
Yeah, I'm not sure what will happen after 6.
Okay.
But that warning, obviously, pushing now east of Lamar. So basically, within that warning, it's Irwin, and then we'll see if they have to or need to or expand that eastward at 6 o'clock. Right now, that's not.
Tiger Valley, you are just on the very edge of this right now. So it is going to be moving into your area, as well as Hampton. Some light rain showers currently. And then, of course, we've got Johnson City, who looks like it's getting right in the thick of things.
Yeah, that has picked up in intensity, the rainfall in Johnson City. That cell has kind of intensified a little bit, and then extending up toward the Tri-Cities Airport, also Piney Flats,
Bluntville area.
Boone Lake, that area, and then kind of skipped over Bristol, the heaviest part of that cell, now near Bristol Caverns, and getting close to 421 Bridge and South Holston Lake, but that does not look severe at this point. So the main kind of 3 areas that we're keeping an eye on, and that's the warning until 6:15 for the northern part of Washington County and southern Russell County, especially from about Hansonville along Highway 19 to Greendale, and mainly north of Abingdon. It looks like the severe part of the storm is going to stay just north of Abingdon. And then, but that might push it in toward the Meadowview area, might get pretty close to Johnson Memorial Hospital, and then eventually toward Glade Spring. But again, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, wind possible gusts up to 60 with this intense part near Greendale. And then we do have that intense cell in Sullivan County near Bluff City to Piney Flats, and picking up in pretty good intensity over JC, quick burst of heavy rain there. And then that cell now in Unicoi County continues as well. And we'll just see what happens here with that warning in a couple minutes. But it looks like that may or may not be extended. Let's go ahead and go to y'all, the producers. You can talk to me in my ear. Let's go ahead and go, and y'all want to just kind of do the 6 o'clock news as planned, and we will throw it to you. Just count me down when I need to let let go of this coverage here, go to the news. And we do want to, of course, remind our viewers of some important details that will be perhaps coming down the pike, and that will be later this evening. And that is with we do have this line of showers and storms, which will be pushing out within the next hour. But we also have another area of severe weather that's been blossoming over parts of Middle Tennessee, northern Alabama, western Tennessee, Mississippi, and into western Kentucky. A couple of tornado watches there. And that will be round 2 of showers and storms, potentially strong to severe. Those storms right now are pretty much right over the Nashville area, or just south of Nashville, and another secondary line back to the west.
Yeah, we've got multiple tornado warnings and a line of severe thunderstorm warnings with this second line of thunderstorms that will be moving through. A few more hours yet to go on that.
So just a quick look. So there's the risk from the Storm Prediction Center. So large swath of Tennessee, and even parts of our area into the western part of our East Tennessee counties and into Southwest Virginia, Eastern Kentucky, and that level 3 enhanced risk of severe weather.
Right, and right now, currently, that's where we are seeing those severe thunderstorm warnings, those lines of severe thunderstorm warnings off to the west, and also into our area with this first line of thunderstorms that are currently moving through. Of course, we do have that tornado watch in effect until 8 p.m. The good news is, at least right now, the National Weather Service has gone ahead and kind of chipped away. They've canceled the tornado watch that was in effect until 8 right now for portions of southeast Kentucky. And so I think once we get this line of thunderstorms out of our area, they'll probably go ahead and cancel the tornado watch. At least that's what from discussions from the National Weather Service were saying a little bit ago. So this is round 1, and then of course, as Dave was talking, we have that second line of thunderstorms and strong to potential severe thunderstorms. It's going to be working its way in later on, and right now,
I would imagine that if things go as they are now, that we could easily be in another watch.
Yeah.
Later this evening. So real quick, like it looks like you know, mainly after 9 or 10 for western areas, and we'll have to see how this progresses, because that stuff in Middle Tennessee is really starting to blossom. So let's just be ready anytime after 9, anywhere.
I was just going to say, don't let your guard down, especially as we're heading into the overnight, because I don't want a repeat of last Friday night, where, I mean, we did have some tornado warnings, and that's the worst time to get those tornado warnings because you can't see it.
So just make sure you have ways of getting the warnings, even if it's late this evening when you may already be in bed, to make sure that you have NOAA weather radio or your cell phone alerts. Make sure those are turned on, audio on, to get any warnings that might come with this second area of rain and storms later this evening. But for now, we're going to go ahead and throw it to our anchors, Kristen Kwan and Casey Getz. Actually, we're going to join them in a minute, but right now we're going to go to a break, and we'll bring you up to date on the latest coming up in just a few minutes.